you see the crowd? That crowd was so live. Listen, that concert happened a few days ago, and I was fortunate to be able to go. I was on the fence on whether I should go or not because I am a 54-year-old seasoned woman, mother of 3 young adult children, married for 29 years. But one of my young adult children, my center child, invited me to go to this concert with her. First of all, I'm honored that she would want to go to the concert with me because, you don't hear that often. Now, when I was growing up, I loved when my parents would do things with me. My parents would go on double dates with me and my boyfriends when I was in college. Before I got married, they would go on double dates with me and my husband. So I get it. And I'm just honored that my children don't mind spending that kind of time with me, But walking to the venue, and it was outdoors, walking to the venue and seeing the other young people that were attending, I was like, wait a minute. I think I'm in the wrong crowd. Hold on. Now, I did wear my Hip Hop 50 t-shirt because that's where it started. And my bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, because that's where it started. I didn't want anyone in the building to forget that where hip hop began. I know I haven't told you who the concert was with, but it was that artist. It was their last concert in the US. I guess they're going international now. It's a very popular artist. Once you see, because I have other clips I'm going to put in this video, but I just wanted to start off with that crowd. So it was at the PNC here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's an outdoor, it's really an outdoor venue, kind of like a shell. And when I tell you it was packed, that was my first time going to a concert there. Now, through the years, I am a concert head. I've been to so many concerts from a young child. It could be a gospel concert, seeing Shirley Caesar or Fred Hammond. It could be hip hop concert, seeing Kid and Play, Big Daddy Kane, Run DMC. It could be an R&B concert, seeing Mary J. Blige, Aaron Hall, Guy, New Edition. I've been to all of those concerts. Earth, Wind, and Fire. I used to go to the Budweiser Superfest, the Essence Festival, just concerts. I just went to the LL Cool J concert last year, celebrating 50 years of hip hop. So I go to concerts, trust. But Beyonce's concert even, I went not this last concert, but the one before that on the Run tour with Jay-Z. I went in Atlanta and I kind of went to that concert kicking and screaming because I was thinking, what more can she do, in concert? I've been to concerts. I was really going to just be the ride for my girls at the time. And I had a ticket, but I was just kind of still like, I don't know. But I ended up going and had a ball. Oh my goodness. Never sat down. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. However, this concert at the PNC, first of all, I'm just recovering. Okay, so let's get that out. I'm just now, a few days later, recovering because it was the crowd for me. The crowd was so lit. I don't know if you can feel the energy or see the energy that was in that crowd of that clip I just shared. But for it to not be a huge venue, the roar of the crowd. Was incredible. And you have to respect that. You have to look at that and enjoy it and be in awe of it. And I was. And so, okay, let me back up a little bit. This channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, real life, real issues, and real talk. And I showed all different aspects of my life because all aspects of my life encompasses all of that. And when I go to things like a concert or an event or whatever, I'm always looking at the business of it. Even when I used to take my kids to their AAU tournaments, I would look at the venue and I would add up. I'm like, okay, it costs $25 per person to get in here. There's at least 10,000 people in here. Each team had to pay a fee to participate. They have to pay the refs. They have the vendors, you know, selling food and everything. How much did they have to pay? And I'm thinking about how much the person that put it together is making from that event, which encouraged me to try and open my own event. And I've taken you on a live tour of the location that I found, and it's actually in Virginia. It's an old Lowe's building, but I decided to try to own a venue because, listen, those organizers of AAU tournaments, they're not trying to have, especially a woman, they're not trying to have you part of that whole process, that whole cash cow, because that's exactly what it is. It is a serious cash cow. Oh, when I said $25 a person, did I also say it's per day for that tournament? And tournaments are typically about 3 days long, sometimes 5, and it's per day that you're paying that amount per person. So it is big money. So I'm always counting money in my head when I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the business side. I'm looking at what maybe they could have added to increase or add value or whatever. So going to this particular concert, and again, it was outdoors. Luckily, I had great seats. I was under the shell or whatever. I was close to the pit. And listen, if I go again, I might go in the pit next time, because the pit's where it's at. See, back in the day when I used to go to concerts, you know, in college and such, you could touch the artists. You can talk to them right there on the stage, you know. Heck, I went to a Al Green concert and he gave me a rose. You know, he just picked me up the audience and he gave me a rose. People used to be able to go on the stage, dance with the artists, shake their hand, you know, just do whatever. And that was cool. Like I told y'all this before. One time Big Daddy Kane was performing at my college for homecoming, and he so happened to be dating one of my good girlfriends from back at home, and she was there but didn't get into the concert. She was just like in the lobby area, and she just said, like, Sherry, just tell Kane that I'm out here. During his performance, I just went up to the stage and got his attention. He bent over. I was like, you know, homegirl is in the she's in the lobby waiting for you afterwards or whatever. Like, you know, they were dating. So he was like, all right, cool. And he just kept on with the show. But nowadays, if you go to big concerts, you can't get nowhere near the artist. And that's why I appreciate the pit. The pit is nostalgic for me. It takes me back to when you could really get in with the artists and talk with them and be right there. That is what the concert experience is all about. And that's why I was kind of hesitant on going to Beyonce's concert, because I'm like, I mean, I know her songs. She's going to sing them. It is what it is. I didn't realize the vibe was going to be there, you know? Because my thing is, if they're up on the stage, you might as well look at the video. But if they're interacting, that's different. So at this concert, the artists interacted with the audience. The people in the pit, the artists would take their camera and take pictures, write, you know, sign different things that they had, t-shirts and whatnot. And I was like, that's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. Even have people come up and dance. I was like, yes. So looking at it as an entrepreneur on the business side, though, this is what I'm talking about. The promo items, you know, that they sell. And I'm sorry, I'm chewing gum too. So the promo items are so whack to me. I would never spend $30, $50, whatever, on the stuff they have, t-shirts, sweatshirts, which are sold to me so ultra common. Oh my goodness, I'm so sick of seeing t-shirts being sold for concerts. I think that is just, after a few washes, you end up using them to dry your hair anyway. So why spend that kind of money? This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so by now you probably know which concert I went to. It was Meg Thee Stallion, Hot Girl Summer. Y'all, it was hot girl summer, and it was hot out there. What? It was so hot that night. I was like, listen, what's going on? Is it me or is it really the weather? But everybody was burning up. You know, they had their own personal fans. And that's the thing. Nowadays, these young people, even older people, listen, I'm not having my personal summers yet. I'm not there yet, ladies. I am not there yet. What? But so a lot of young people started this trend of using those small hand fans, and I'm assuming it's the young people that started it, because my daughters had started using it going to the clubs and stuff, and I was like, wow, that's brilliant, because it is hot, you know, when you go out and everything, and sometimes you need that extra air, and if you can have your own personal fan, what? That's what's up. So, you know, I see a lot of young people, and of course women of a certain age that's going through the change, carrying those personal fans and just randomly pulling them out, whatever. If you're going to name your concert Hot Girl Summer, why don't you have fans? You can have a couple of different types of fans. You can have the fold-up fans, the old traditional type of fans, and that you have to flip open, like church lady, you know, type fans. Because some people like that. That's cute. And you can have regular, you know, battery operated fans. And all of the fans should be branded Hot Girl Summer. I'm like, where are the fans? That would be such an amazing marketing tool. What do you think? Leave me a comment. Do you think that would have been a really good promo item instead of all these t-shirts and sweatshirts? And I'm not saying not to have the t-shirts and sweatshirts, because there's still that audience that's what they go for. But have something different, shake it up a little bit, and add something that's really happening that people can use on a daily basis, and that really is going to get your brand out there. Because what, they wear the t-shirt one day, they can't wear it again until maybe that next week. They have to wash it, do all kind of things. That fan, they can have it in their purse all summer. Hot Girl Summer, what? And beyond, because so many people have their own personal summers to deal with, you know. And I just think people need to think bigger. Who are the marketing components? Who are the marketing team behind these brands? Because they're not doing it for me. But at any rate, one thing also that I've come to appreciate, and as a parent, my husband and I are not traditional parents. We look at things, first of all, we put everything in perspective. We know how we were when we were, you know, our children's ages. And so we never really held them back from too much, because first of all, where we live, they can't get into half the things that we could and had gotten into when we were their age. So we gave them a lot of leeway in that way, you know, in terms of the things they wanted to explore and do and such. But you know, I just remember, you know, I appreciate my parents because my mother and father didn't have like traditional teenage years. You know, they weren't out there. I mean, they would go out and stuff, but my mother was married at 19. My father was 21. They had their first home, mortgaged home, when my mother was 20, my father was 22. She had my oldest brother when she was 20, and my other brother at 21. It had me at 29. I came later, y'all. I came later. But, you know, they weren't those traditional teenagers, you know, going to college parties, going to Greek shows, step shows, or none of that. Really, until I went to college. But they never hindered me or my brothers from, you know, having those tradition or those teenage years, those experiences. You know, my brothers used to have house parties. I would have house parties. They would let me go out. I had a serious curfew now. Don't get that twisted. But I know my mother never judged my clothing. You know, back in my day, we wore spandex dresses, shorts, bodysuits, you know, sheer tops and everything, but over the bodysuits. And, you know, we weren't like they are today, but for back in my day, and looking at how my mother's generation dressed, because my mother was a teenager in the late 50s and, you know, the 60s. And so we definitely dress a lot different from that. But my mother never was like, Sherry, what you have on, or where you going with that? She was just like, all right, be safe. And I was praying so hard when I would leave. But I was always safe. I always had my parents' values and morals still in me when I went out. So I wouldn't do but so much, because I was not bringing any shame to my family. That was not my thing. I was never going to do anything that I would be ashamed of, that I would be embarrassed to tell my parents about, or anything like that. And I always instilled that in my children. Like, listen, don't do nothing that you don't feel comfortable telling your grandparents about. That's it. Like, don't even worry about me and your dad. Don't do anything that you will be too embarrassed to tell your grandparents about. And that sticks in their head. You say that enough times, people remember that. So at any rate, looking at the clothing, or lack thereof, of the young people at that concert, I was shaking my head like, But then I started to realize, you know what? They're all out here having a great time. There's no like body shame or anything. Like, no matter what size or whatever, people was chilling, having a good time. And so that's what I told my daughter. I said, you know what I noticed? Your generation, y'all have embraced your bodies, unlike my generation. My generation, we wore spandex, but we always had something over it. Look at Salt and Pepper. They had on spandex bodysuits, but they had big coats on over those. I remember wearing bodysuits and wearing like a sheer kind of like 3/4 to hide like my butt. I always thought I had a little stomach. What? But no stomach at all. But you just thinking, as you are young or whatever. But, covering certain things up, so you give that illusion. These young people don't give the illusion. They all out with it. But they're comfortable in their skin. And isn't that what we want? We want them to be comfortable in their skin. So who are we to judge? You definitely want people to leave stuff to the imagination. That's what I always say. I tell my girls that all the time. You don't want to show everything you have. Leave a lot to the imagination. But at the same time, don't be embarrassed by your body. And I didn't see too many people there embarrassed about anything. I was definitely overdressed with my 50 years of hip hop t-shirt, my jeans. And but y'all, it was a good time, and I'm glad that I went and experienced it. I won't say that I will go again, but I won't say I won't. It just all depends. I just know that I wish that she would get more. I'm talking about Meg Thee Stallion now. I wish she would get more choreography. I wish that she had more moves than just dropping it and twerking. Okay, but it's amazing how the crowd loved it when she would do that. And I'm like, that's all she's doing. I'm used to Janet Jackson. I've been to Janet Jackson's concerts where she's dancing routines are like on point, appropriate for every song. Beyonce routines for every song. I'm used to that. And listen, back in the day, I remember I saw Janet Jackson back in '94 in New York, and it was everything. Now she's coming back to Charlotte. I think she'll be here this weekend. She was just here not too long ago. My daughter went. So I'm like, why is she coming back? Ooh, excuse me. Hold on. But I was like, why is she coming back? But she's coming back. And I don't think I'll be able to go. I think I might be out of town. But I remember when I worked in New York, in Manhattan, and I used to take hip hop dance classes sometimes after work with one of my coworkers, and that was so much fun. What? And they would have choreographers for, major artists to do the class. They would teach us routines, and we would have to do it. And one time, one of our teachers was Janet Jackson's choreographer. It was no joke. Those classes, it was a hip hop dance class, but it was for exercise. That's what I did it for, aerobics, but you did learn some real cool moves, and it definitely upped your game. But I'm just wondering why there hasn't been a choreographer. I mean, obviously Meg Thee Stallion has choreography, she has dancers, they do routines, but they're just so basic to me, and I'm like, you could do so much more. Come on, give us something else. Like, what else? So she's not going to be, this tour, like I said, that day in Charlotte was the last day of her national tour. So if you want to see her, I guess at this point you have to go overseas to go see her. But it was cool. And I'm glad that I experienced it. And I guess I am an official hot girl, 54-year-old hot girl. And this is Hot Girl Summer. And I'm going to continue to enjoy. This is day 3 of my 90-day challenge of uploading videos every day. I want to thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. After this, I'm going to show another clip of the concert. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the team. And hit the thumbs up if you liked this video, and leave a comment down below and let me know, are you a hot girl this summer too? All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll talk and see you all later. I am Coach Sherry. You say the